Are you looking at refinancing? Not sure what to do, not sure what's important? Do you want to get rid of mortgage insurance, also known as PMI? Do you want to lower your rate? Maybe you want to shorten your term. Stick around and we'll help figure out what's right for you. Welcome to your one-stop shop for anything and everything mortgage education. Please subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to be notified every time I post new videos, which are Tuesdays and Saturdays. And be sure to like and leave me some comments below if you enjoy the topics. I am Stephanie Weeks. I have helped thousands of customers get millions of dollars in mortgages. And if you don't believe me, just check out my testimonials. I have so many 5-star testimonials of really happy customers. And my goal is to educate you to get the best deal with no matter who your loan officer is. How do you know what your options are? How do you know what you don't know? How do you know what's most important? How do you know what the best thing for you is? Well, stick around because I'm going to help you answer all those questions. Now, maybe you have PMI and maybe you don't. Stick around even if you don't, because I'm going to talk about it for a little bit and move on to the next topics. So tell me about your PMI. Is it for the life of the loan? It's very important and you've got to know that information. Is it for the life of the loan? If it's not, when's it going to automatically fall off? Or when can you possibly request to have it removed? Maybe you don't have PMI at all, and this one doesn't apply to you like I mentioned before. You're also probably wondering, where in the heck do I get this information if you don't just know off the top of your head? Well, in your closing packet, you would have received an amortization schedule. That's one place you can look. It'll actually show you when it falls off if you do nothing else, and you'll see if it never falls off, right? Another place you can look is your Truth in Lending. That will also show you your different payments at different brackets, if you will, and show you 1 through 60 payments is this and 61 through whatever is that. And that'll be an indication if the payment drops that the mortgage insurance has automatically fallen off. Did you know that, yes, it will automatically fall off on certain programs, but at 78% loan to value, not 80. You have the option on certain programs to remove your PMI or request your PMI to be removed when you've gotten to 80% loan to value. You can request it. But if you forget, it won't automatically fall off until 78% loan to value. And most people don't know that. Another important point, what is the value of your home? Do you know? Do you know how to know? Do you know where to get this information or even where to have a reference point? Well, a lot of people think, let me just get an appraisal. I don't necessarily suggest that. It's going to be case by case. And what I mean by that is if you get an appraisal, you request it, it's going to cost you hundreds of dollars, right? You get the appraisal and then you decide to refinance. That lender cannot use that appraisal. So I don't know if it was really worth it. I have mixed feelings about that. What some people do is they keep an eye on what other homes in their area or their neighborhood have sold for. That can give you a good reference point. Sometimes people have friends or family members who are realtors, and you can ask them to pull comparables for you, and that can give you a reference point as well. I know some people go to different databases like Zillow or different places, and I find those to be hit or miss with accuracy, but again, it's another place to look. Because when I'm refinancing people and I say, what do you think the value of your home is? And they say, I don't know. You have to give me something, right? Because I don't know either. And without the value to determine the loan to value, we're missing a big piece. We can't even proceed forward on the loan or the interest rate quotes. It's very, very important that you know that. So those are some of the places that you can go to check out that information, or at least try to have a reference point. Okay, here's my third tip for you. So, do you know on your new proposed loan for your refinance, are you going to have mortgage insurance? How many payments is it anticipated to be on there? Is the mortgage insurance or PMI for the life of the loan? You need to make sure that you take that into consideration because it's more than just the rate that you need to look at, right? So you need to figure out that information. That's something that'll be on your paperwork, and it's also something that your loan officer can just give you if you call and ask. It's going to be important in calculating your cost versus savings versus break even, and to know if you should refinance and you're trying to get rid of PMI and then, oh my gosh, it's still on there, Or if you're trying to refinance just to get a lower rate, if you get a lower rate, but now you have PMI that you didn't have before, is it really saving you money? You've got to have the knowledge. You've got to ask these questions. Here's my next tip, or it's kind of more of like food for thought for you. Things I want you to think about and consider to make sure you're getting the best deal possible. And you're not putting yourself in a worse position when you had no idea. And of course, that wasn't your intention, right? So when you're refinancing and trying to decide, do I get rid of PMI? Am I trying to lower my interest rate? Here's a huge thing you need to think about. How long do you plan on being in the home? How long do you plan on being in the loan, right? Because if you refinance to a much lower rate, and let's say that you do have mortgage insurance for the life of the loan, in that example, but you're only going to have the loan for 5 years. Well, then kind of who cares? Kind of you still care, but kind of you don't. So those things you need to take into consideration, of course. And the other thing that you need to take into consideration, in regards to how long you're going to have the loan or how long you're going to have the home, what's important to you? Are you looking for monthly savings? Are you looking for short-term savings? Are you looking for long-term savings? The loan that you are put into greatly affects those things. And so you need to communicate with your loan officer what's important. Because if someone tells me they're looking for monthly savings moreover than long-term savings, right? I'm going to put them in a different product, make different suggestions than if it were vice versa. Let me give an example of what I mean. Just talked to a guy this week and he was going to save $200 a month. Okay, you're like, that's a no-brainer, right? $200 a month. Well, here's the thing. Yes, his rate was going down. Yes, he was saving $200 a month, but he had accelerated his payments. So he was years ahead of his scheduled trajectory, if you will, right? He told me that he was selling the home in 5 years. Well, when I looked at his current loan trajectory he was on and the new proposed loan, yes, he was going to save $200 a month, but did you know that at 5-year mark, he was going to owe thousands more? Yes, he was going to owe thousands more when he goes to sell at the lower interest rate than if he stayed in the same loan. Now, was that good or bad for him? That depends. Was he more worried about having extra cash over these next 5 years at $200 a month? Or was he more worried about cashing out the most money possible in 5 years when he sells? Because depending upon what was important to him is going to depend upon if that was a good or bad deal. Do you see why this stuff is so important? Now, hopefully you've been having fun with me, but we're coming toward the end of all of my suggestions. The big thing you've been waiting for. How do you do this? How do you know? Where do you start? Well, you start by knowing what you want, right? What we talked about. PMI, no PMI, lower rate, shorter term, long-term savings, short-term savings, things like that. Then you want to choose a reputable lender, if I could talk. You want to choose a reputable lender that you feel very comfortable with. Call the person, ask them questions, see what kind of rapport that you have. Not everybody meshes with everybody, right? That's just life. And so as a loan officer, there are some people who love me and some people who hate me, and that's okay, right? We each have our person, if that makes sense. So what's important is that you find your person. You find your lender, right? That's going to mesh well and help you with what you need. So that's step number 1. The second part of this into my series is set up your consultation call. So when you narrow down your lender, go ahead and set up your consultation call to talk about what they have, what they offer, and what your goals are in relation to what your current loan looks like. Then the next thing that you want to do is give them your application. And don't forget, like I've said in all my other videos, details matter, right? So do a full and complete loan application, and don't round up things, right? If you make 60 grand a year and you made 65 one time, you make 60. Don't put 65. It could mess up your approval, right? If you think your home is worth 300,000, don't put 350. You're getting misquoted and you don't even realize it, right? All those things really matter. So give a good detailed loan application. See what the lender has to offer you and then make sure that that fits your goals. Check long-term savings versus short. Check your break-even point. Check the PMI if it applies to you or if it doesn't. Compare the interest rates, things like that. For more information, I've got tons of other videos you can check out to give you all the real estate and mortgage knowledge that you need. I bet you're wondering, should you even refinance? Well, luckily, I have created a cheat sheet for that. I'm going to put a link in the comments below or maybe the bio below, and check on that. Check that out. It's a free checklist. Just trying to help you gain all the knowledge you need to make the best decision. Type peace in the comments below if you feel more peaceful about what decision you're going to make moving forward. Type win in the comments below if you think this video has helped you to make a better decision and save some money on your refinance. If you've enjoyed this video, check out my other video or my other video, and I have a lot. Ooh, puppy kisses. I'm bringing in the big dogs and the cuteness to say, please subscribe to my channel. Please like it, hit the bell to be notified, and check me out on social media. Let's connect on Instagram, _the real Stephanie Weeks. We can connect on Facebook. I'd love to hear back from you.